What's up, everyone, dude? So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, right? Apple's not in too good of a spot. There's really not even any iOS updates coming out anymore, but I've been doing a lot of these comparisons with the somewhat newer iPhones, okay? Now this is the iPhone 10, iPhone 8 Plus, and iPhone 8, okay? And I would kind of consider these phones to be pretty fast. They're pretty new. There's only like one generation of newer iPhones than this, and even like the iPhone 10R really isn't even as good as most of these phones that are here. So I would consider these phones pretty new. But the weird thing is that lately I've been doing, like I said, a lot of these comparisons, and I made a video not too long ago that's pretty similar where I compared the iPhone 6s Plus to the iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 10, and I saw that as a most part, the iPhone 10 and 8 Plus were actually slower than the iPhone 6s Plus for the most part. There were some cases where they were faster, but for the most part, I would say a majority of the apps, especially the third-party apps, were faster on the iPhone 6s Plus than they were on the iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 Plus. But just yesterday, I did a comparison between the iPhone and the iPhone SE, which I have right here, and it was just a speed comparison. You guys are pretty familiar with that. And I found out that the iPhone SE, for the most part, again, is faster than the iPhone 8. So at first, I was like, maybe there's like a coincidence or something like that, because at first, the iPhone 8 was opening the apps faster. And then afterwards, after I went into the third-party apps, the iPhone SE opened them up faster afterwards, which is pretty interesting. Now, some people are going to say that the iPhone 8 was just downloading the apps and they didn't have them open, this and that, but I actually had apps open on both of them. The iPhone SE and the iPhone 8 had the apps open on both before I even opened them up before that. So I don't think that argument is very valid, and I do understand that the cache sometimes gets stored in the background, but when you open the same apps on different phones and everything like that, I assume that it's pretty reliable and you can go and open them up again and it'll be pretty much the same thing. So as a whole, I was expecting the iPhone 8 to be faster, but that's pretty crazy. So in a lot of ways, the older iPhones, such as the iPhone SE, the iPhone 6s Plus, those iPhones, here's the 6s Plus, I forgot to put it, these iPhones are somewhat faster than the iPhone 10, iPhone 8 Plus, and the iPhone 8. Now, between the 6s Plus and the iPhone 8, I think this one will probably annihilate this one out of the water if it is faster than these two. So that's pretty crazy. I was not expecting that. Now, as a whole, you might be wondering to yourself, why is this important? Why is this? Why is that? And I kind of have an answer, okay? But before I even answer that question, I don't think the iPhone 10, 8 Plus, and iPhone 8 are slow phones, okay? I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're slower than the iPhone 6s Plus and iPhone SE. What I mean by that is, I think the iPhone 6s Plus and iPhone SE are just temporarily faster. So they're going to be, they're probably going to be clocked down in speeds or something like that. There's some software thing that's making these specific phones. I found the iPhone 6s to not be as fast as the iPhone 6s Plus or the iPhone SE, but there's just something going around in the software that makes these phones faster for some reason. So again, I think it's temporary. I tested the iPhone 7 versus the 10 and the 8 Plus, and I found that the iPhone 7 was slower than those phones as well, if you remember those comparisons that I did. But it's just weird that these two specific phones, this one is faster than the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 Plus. This one is faster than the iPhone 8. And you know what? I'm going to throw another conspiracy out there. This probably isn't even true at all, but I just want to say it. I just want to put it out there because if it becomes true, then at least I can go back to this video and say like, oh, I ended up being right. But what I think is going on is that these phones are way more capable of doing things that we don't even know. So like these phones are purposely clocked down slower. So then people will be like, oh, like my phone's super slow, but it's not even slower. It's just the speed that it should have been. But these phones are able to be overclocked in a way to be faster than the newer iPhones. On Android, sometimes you can flash custom kernels, overclock the speed sometimes and things like that, and underclock. I think software-wise, these phones are underclocked to their normal potential. So it's not like they've been slower the longer you have them. It's like when they were released, they were a certain speed and then go so on and so forth. But for some reason, the software is overclocking sometimes when you open an app or something like that. And, it's the same thing on MacBooks, you can overclock. They set like a certain amount of speed, but sometimes it overclocks if it does a certain task. I feel like it's the same thing going around here. So I think it's a software thing. I don't really think in the long term, the iPhone 6s Plus is going to be faster than the iPhone 8 Plus. I don't think that. I think the iPhone 8 Plus is ultimately faster. And I've said that in every single one of my comparisons. I said that it looks like now that the iPhone 8 Plus is slower, but time will tell. And I promise you, once iOS 13, even probably iOS 12.2, I don't know, once those versions come out, it will probably normalize the speed a little bit and you'll be able to pretty much use the iPhone 8 Plus and it'll be faster. Now, I'm not saying the 6s Plus is a better phone than the iPhone 8 Plus. I'm not saying that at all. Obviously, the 8 Plus is better. Dual camera setup, extra gigabyte of RAM, wireless charging, glass back, all those things, which isn't even a pro because if you can see, mine's freaking cracked. But why is the speed so much faster on the 6s Plus than the iPhone 8 Plus? Why is the speed so much faster on the iPhone 6 Plus versus an iPhone 10, which this one still is pretty expensive? This one is easily over $600 still. This one you can get for like under $200. So why is this one faster in any way than this one? It should not be like that. If you're spending almost like this thing I didn't spend that much on it, but retail value, this one's still pretty expensive. So why is this one noticeably faster? Even like if it was like a little bit faster, it's one thing, but it's like by the naked eye, you can tell that this one opens up faster than this one, and it shouldn't be like that. And yesterday when I did the comparison between the iPhone 8 and the iPhone SE, this one surprised me too because, both apps were open on both phones, and it's crazy because I went back into multitasking and opened up the apps again, which was crazy. And the SE opened it up faster again. So for all those people who were like, oh, that caches app open in the background, this and that, well, the apps were both open and they were both in the multitasking. And then when I opened them up back into multitasking, apps were both open. It's not like they were just installed. The iPhone SE still went into the app faster. Now, a lot of people might say it's because, it's the size is smaller, so it has less this and this to push. And, I kind of agree with that. I think there's some merit to that argument because the iPhone SE has less pixels to push overall than the iPhone 8, and then that kind of has some merit. I'll give you guys that. But why is a phone that was released in 2016, early 2016, doing better than a phone that was released in 2017, late 2017? There's almost like a year and a half gap here, a year and a half gap of innovation. There's even more, dude. I'll say there's even more innovation between these phones right here. Even though the iPhone 10 has the same specs as the iPhone 8 Plus in terms of like the inside, I think that's still pretty crazy. We're comparing an Apple A9 chip to an Apple A11 Bionic chip, and it should not be like that. It should not be this fast. It should not be noticeably faster. So what I'm saying is, I think there's some hidden potential in all these iPhones, especially the older ones, the iPhone 6s Plus, the iPhone SE sometimes, even the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. I think these iPhones have some hidden potential inside of them that could potentially like have these phones like overclock in a way. I don't know, that's just my opinion. So these phones could somehow outperform the newer iPhones only if we like overclock it or anything like that. So I think ultimately it's a software glitch of somehow that's making these phones perform faster. Again, I have to reiterate, both apps were open on both phones. It's not like I just installed both of them. I've done speed comparisons between all of them before, and I really didn't have too many problems or anything like that. But it's only when I updated, I believe it was to iOS 12.0.1, that I started to notice that the 6s Plus was noticeably faster. And I'll go ahead and do a quick comparison again. I'll just do one like really, really fast to see which one is faster again. Okay, so this is just a quick comparison. This one's about to die. My iPhone 8 Plus was already dead. So this is the iPhone 10, the iPhone 6s Plus. All the apps are clear in the background, as you can see. So let's go ahead and run into it. Okay, Netflix, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the iPhone 10 looks like it's faster. And okay, it is faster this time. And it should be, okay? Let's do Dropbox, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the iPhone 6s Plus was faster there too. And you guys already know I've had both of these apps open. Let's go ahead and do Snake Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone 6s Plus is faster. It got into the app faster again. So Netflix seems to be like the only one that was faster on the iPhone 10. Let's do like Bank of America, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully the iPhone 10 is faster. And again, it looks like, the 6s Plus was faster again. And it shouldn't be like that. Like, why is this happening? Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. And I feel like they should have fixed this on the last update because they're both on 12.1. Okay, the iPhone 10 was faster here. Let's do Rise Up, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 6s Plus was faster there again. And it's like, as a whole, it's just faster on the iPhone 6s Plus, more faster than on the iPhone 10. Let's do Slices, 3, 2, 1. It looks like it lingered a little bit on the iPhone 10. And you can see how much faster the 6s Plus is here. So how many apps, and look at the difference between these. Like, how many apps have we opened? Maybe like 6 or 7. I would say more times it's faster on the iPhone 6s Plus than on the iPhone 10. And even if it was only faster one time, that's like, why is it even faster one time? It shouldn't be faster at all. The iPhone 10 should be more fast than the iPhone 6s Plus in every comparison because you're spending more money on an iPhone 10 than you are on an iPhone 6s Plus. You're spending more money for more things. But if it's slower, then why are you even spending money on it? So now I have the iPhone 8 and the iPhone SE. Let's just go ahead and do the same speed test I literally just did yesterday. Let's go ahead and do this 2-month mask game, 3, 2, 1. And again, I'm hoping the iPhone 8 is faster because you're spending more money on a faster phone. And I really hope it is faster on the iPhone 8. And it is faster. Okay, that's good. It's kind of the same thing with the other one. Let's do TikTok, 3, 2, 1. But it's like, why is it even one times? And again, you see the iPhone SE beat it. Like, why is that the case? It shouldn't be like that. I mean, Snake Box, 3, 2, 1. And that's why I'm kind of saying, like, there's probably some hidden potential in between these phones. Even the newer iPhones, that basically Apple could possibly be underclocking them to the normal conditions. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not like they're purposely underclocking the newer iPhones. It's just like I don't even know which one's faster there. Bank of America, 3, 2, 1. It's just like once you buy the phone, that's like the level it's at. But these iPhones could potentially be able to do more. And again, you see the iPhone SE beat it again. Let's do Netflix 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone SE beat it again. That's crazy. Let's do this one, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, that was like almost a tie. But Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Again, faster on the iPhone SE. So I'll just say, like, as a whole, the newer iPhones are still fast. They're still much better than the older iPhones. But for some reason, the older iPhones can beat the newer iPhones in some opening app speeds, which is pretty crazy. But I mean, that's pretty much where I'm going to end it off. Like I said, it's pretty crazy that this is the case, but I guess we'll just see what Apple does about this. I mean, it's kind of a good thing for the older iPhones, but I kind of want to see what the newer iPhones are capable of if they overclock them or whatever. But that's pretty much where I'll end it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those things are linked down below. I'd really appreciate if you guys could check those out too. But more importantly, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.